Hello, America. Tonight I want to talk about shadow companies, black ops, stuff like that. I'm going to put down the paper. Um, Troops being paid by the Americans are protecting corporations. I'm sort of off the paper. I'm going to stay there forever. They walk around wearing little uniforms like this. They don them before they leave. They don't want anyone to see their face because there's always a chance that someone's family they shot, someone's going to come around and look them up back in the States when all this is said and done. And it's a distinct possibility they could be taking you out one at a time. Some 9-year-old kid that will never forget the face of the man who shot his mother will come here, file for his visa, live here, and make it a point to chase you down and kill you because you killed his family. It can happen. It really can happen. I know I use Blackwater as an example over and over again, but I want you to understand there are a lot more companies, and they're not just from America. They're from all around the world. They're mercenaries. It's what they do. They look for a war. They don't care about their immortal soul. They think they're doing. Some of them actually think they're doing God's work, which is yet to be seen, because I haven't seen a whole lot of God in any of the images I've seen getting passed around. But back this open no bid contract until all American money is gone, it slowly bankrupts our country. We pay them, like I said, $1,000 to almost $2,000 a day. They're 6 weeks on, 3 weeks off. 6 weeks of solid battle, combat, downtown Baghdad, Fallujah, the whole schmear, and then they get 3 weeks off, and they're making this kind of money, and they're definitely going to put themselves ahead of the game. But if they're being paid in U.S. dollars, man, it's not going to be worth a whole lot. I can tell you that right now. I seem to remember a better army in America. I seem to remember a time when coalition forces were groups of men who re-enlisted in the military to fight for their country. Now they're not fighting for their country so much. They want to fight for dollars, which, who doesn't want a little bit better pay? Fact of the matter is, who doesn't? And maybe there's no maybe. I know the military, the U.S. military, deserves better pay. Their combat pay was taken away. Their emergency or overseas service and duty pay was taken away. They had a lot of things taken away from them, so they could pay these private groups to do whatever they want. They're absolutely non-prosecutable. They can't be tried in Iraqi court. They can't be tried in American court. They're doing God's work. God being Exxon and Mobil and the almighty dollar. These are the things that they worship. And they're running around in cities over there, and soon they'll be wearing these and running around in cities over here. And we'll be, just like the French, we'll be looking at the Nazis as they pull into town and waving our flag, and then somebody's going to come up and knock it out of our hand and then stick a new flag in it, and everyone will just have to get used to that new flag. And something tells me it's going to be blue with a little white wreath around it and maybe a dove in the middle, huh? Pray that never happens. They're 50,000 members strong, completely unprosecutable. I think that's amazing. I can seem to remember a time when our forces were struggling for armor for Humvees, jackets, bulletproof vests, helmets, good goggles, better food, better supplies. These guys are living in one of Saddam Hussein's former palaces with swimming pools. Our military sleeps in tents that are alginated, wet, damp, upper respiratory problems for all of them. One guy gets a solid brick building, and another guy gets a cotton pup tent, and then the stories just go on and on in the green zone. Green being money, of course, which is why they gave it such a euphemism. Operation Iraqi Liberation, oil, as it's so euphemistically called, or at least was until it became Iraqi freedom. So, things just change, and then they want to say that this is okay. This is not a sanctioned war. This is, all the countries that tried to back us, they're pretty much gone now. They've left some symbology, and they've left because of companies like Blackwater and CPI and Dynacor, Wackenhut, Triple Canopy, MPRI, and they're from everywhere. They're just from everywhere. A true free speaker was Brigadier General Carl Horst when he said, "These guys," meaning private security companies, "run loose in this country and do stupid stuff. They shoot people, and sometimes, and someone has to deal with the aftermath. Not sometimes, but someone has to deal with the aftermath. And of course, naturally, they're going to the U.S. Embassy. When their family's killed, they go to the U.S. Embassy. And that's long enough with this thing on. And that's just how it goes. Now I'm going to put on the hat I wear every day. It's my son's hat. Gave it to him. He digs it. Yeah, I can wear this color. Do you really believe you serve the U.S. people? Do you really believe that what you're doing serves our country? Are you willing to take a pay cut to re-enlist in the military? To make our country great again? You say that they don't follow the rules of engagement. Well, you know, the rules of engagement also don't include that you go up and knock them off their property, and when they fight with you, you shoot them in the head. That's you know, dividing property. To the victor goes the spoils. I know how the story goes, but the fact of the matter is the victor isn't truly a victor. And after we removed Saddam Hussein, I thought the whole point was to get out. Oh no, there was a whole other second plan. It was to divide up the country and begin to make all these people pay for their crimes. Whatever crime, which was you killed my dad, now I'm going to kill you. Oh look, you killed me, and you killed my children, and now I'm going to join this force over here because these are the only people that seem to have enough weapons and armor to impress me to be able to shoot whoever shot my kids. You know, it's called escalation. And as long as we occupy, we continue to escalate. You drive down streets. I realize that you have to move fast because anytime you get caught up in a traffic jam, it could be the end of your life. I appreciate that. But if you're going to escort dignitaries, American dignitaries, all throughout Baghdad, geez, you know, during World War II, that was all done by Marines and Army. These guys were fine men. You left your battle group to go join a bunch of people for money and no other reason. So you call yourself a security force, and you know, I've seen a lot of other stuff that sort of indicates something different. So when you do something like that, the fact of the matter is you need to stop and realize that this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be American citizens. You want the glory of being an American soldier and fighting for freedom, but you can't take the payday. Well, tough crap. You know, these generals should be marching through the camps going, "You're an American, up. You're an American, up. You're an American, up. You're an American, up." I mean, that's what our military did for years. If they showed up at my house and said, "You're an American, we want you to serve," up. I'm gone. There's no question. I'm gone. And I'll serve whatever time. I don't want to work for one of your private security companies. I think there's going to be some horrible blowback to all that. And I think when it blows up in your face, you're all going to be really, really sad about what they're going to choose to do with you. I wouldn't be surprised if you're all stuck with community service time at least 5 hours a week for the rest of your natural lives in Baghdad, picking up bricks, shoveling stuff down, saying you're sorry. Do you really believe? You know, they're dissecting the nation now, and the puppet government smiles at our government and says, "Oh, if that's what you want, okay," because otherwise somebody's going to blow up, somebody's going to disappear, somebody's going to get shot. Black ops, secret governments, security forces. Politicians look at you and say, you know, things are fine. You know, don't worry about it. Go ahead and just go back to your iPod and listen to your streaming video and do whatever you need to do. And don't worry, we've got government. We got you covered. That's why you voted for me. Remember, that's why I ran for office, so I could do these things for you. But they're not doing anything for you. They're not. You know, America, I'm just as guilty. I'm not going to say that I'm better than you, because I was just as guilty. I believed it. I fell into the trap. I fell into the same trap everybody falls into. And I wanted to believe that when I voted for my politicians, they picked up the Constitution when they were getting ready to vote on something, and they said, you know what, our forefathers said something specific about this.